Hey everybody, Jake here from Bearded Gear. I've got another unboxing to do. It's always fun to do an unboxing, but I get especially tickled when the box is from Rivers Edge Cutlery. You may have noticed a couple of days ago if you watched the unboxing on the Benchmade Super Freek that I really liked it. And if you watched the first impressions on the Benchmade Super Freek, you'll see I told the story, which I am now about to prove is true, that right after I unboxed that knife, I messaged my buddy Kyle, DTOM Knives and Gear, to ask him if he would trade or sell me this knife, and he said no because it's a great knife. So I went ahead and ordered one from Rivers Edge Cutlery because that seems like the appropriate thing to do. So Rivers Edge Cutlery decal, can never have enough of those. Rivers Edge Cutlery card, and let's see what we have in the box, shall we? This is a Benchmade 560 BK1 Freek. And there should be one other thing in here. There is. I finally splurged. I have never had a proper knife lubricant before. I always just use my Hoppe's gun lubricant. I think it's Hoppe's number 9 or whatever it's called. So I finally bought myself my very own bottle of KPL because I was placing an order anyways. Why not chuck it in? And yeah, these are, it's like 10 bucks a bottle ish at Rivers Edge Cutlery. So that I'm looking forward to trying a little bit. I've never been like a lube all the knives kind of guy, but I have experienced KPL on knives before, and I will say it's very good. So figured it would make sense to just have a bottle of it. And now, anytime that I'm in the need of lubricating a knife, that'll be the actual right one to use. So let's go ahead and get this guy opened up. There we go. Typical Benchmade baggie boxes, what everybody expects from Benchmade. Their packaging has never been like exciting to me, but it's consistent and it's nice, so no issues there. Here we have the knife itself. Got our little axis lock tab thing that they put on all of them. Now the moment of truth, let's see how the action is right out of the box. Oh, it's stiffer than the one that I've got, which makes sense because the one that I have in hand is broken in. Feels exactly the same though. And this coating looks perfectly fresh. There's something special. I buy, oh yeah, this is definitely gonna need to get loosened. That's not okay. This KPL is about to come in handy, I suppose. There's definitely something nice. I buy a lot of secondary knives that have been previously owned. They can be in a variety of conditions. Sometimes I buy things that I know are kind of used and that's why I'm getting it cheaper. Sometimes it's a knife that sat new in the box since the person got it, and for some reason people do that with knives that don't skyrocket in value, and I can still get it for cheaper than it was new, but it's just from somebody secondhand instead of from the manufacturer. But there's just something really nice about getting a knife that's brand new, that you're the first person to own and handle. And it's kind of like when I used to sell cars. I've bought used cars, I've bought new cars, but there is a difference when you're sitting in a car that no one else has farted in yet. Just feels a little more special when you're buying a vehicle that's brand new. Is it the most economical choice? No. Most cases, it makes more sense financially to buy a used car, unless you're buying so used that you're going to pay more in repairs or whatever it is. There's obviously there's differences, there's different equations there that come into play. But somebody else farting in the car before you seems a little bit wrong when you're spending so much money on something brand new. So something new to you, I should say. I kind of feel like that with knives sometimes. It's just a little more special when the knife hasn't been in anyone else's pocket yet, and it's just yours. Brand new, fresh from the factory. It feels great. This one does not feel great right out of the box. Look at that. That is not how an axis lock should function. So I'm probably going to go ahead and just disassemble this, at least partially, and get some lube in there, see if I can loosen that a little bit. I don't have the patience to see if these washers will over time get smoother than that. That's just not an action that's okay with me right out of the box. But I will say it is centered nicely, and everything about it seems to be flawless other than the action. So it's funny, I think it was M4, but they did a JG10 Freek at one point that I guess was like a sprint run or something. I don't know, I haven't followed Benchmade or this model closely enough to know the specifics on it, but I held one once upon a time that was JG10 and had like a gray blade, and the action was a lot like this. And it's frankly why I was never interested in the Freek. It just, if they were all like this, I mean, I'm like giving it wrist and it's not deploying all the way. If they were all like this and weren't like this, then I'd not be interested. So it's a good thing I've experienced this one already, because if I had not, and this was my first experience with the Freek, I'd be real turned off. Benchmade, take notes on that. I don't know why some of your knives come out of the box this stiff and gritty and just... Anyways, so that's gonna be my unboxing. You guys have already seen this knife, but now you get to see two in one place. Thanks again to Kyle, who has lent me his. Now that I've got mine, I'm gonna toss this back in the mail to Kyle, so he will have that back. And I'm looking forward to taking mine out into the woods and beating on it, seeing what it's made of, finding out whether my M4 is what M4 ought to be, or whether I got a burnt up edge like I've heard some people have gotten. And it's gonna be exciting to make it mine. So there you have it. That's my Super Freek. Just a quick unboxing for you today. Thanks to Rivers Edge Cutlery for always being awesome. I really appreciate those guys up there. It probably will only be a short matter of time until they see another order from me, because I just think they're great, and they're my favorite to order from for so many reasons. But also with how crazy everything is right now, that this got here so quick, that's a kudos to them. They had it out. I placed it at night. It was a shipment notification the very next morning, and their stuff always seems to get here smoothly. Obviously, that's more USPS than Rivers Edge Cutlery, but it feels good when the knife company somehow, with their good juju, gets USPS to get the knife to you quickly. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. That's my Super Freek, and it's not my second one, but it's the second one in my possession right now. So if that's any indication of how good this knife is, let that be worth whatever it's worth.